When we first started, we weren't educated much from a mother's point of view. This is because no one in our group has any personal experience of being a parent. The advantage we have was that we knew people who had experience with being pregnant and parenthood in general. Some of our group members interviewed new mothers and expecting mothers. When it comes in terms of age, most of mothers are expecting children within the age of 25 to 44. The age group have a higher percentage compared to others. Around 50% have 1 to 2 children in their house, while others fall into the category of not having children or having more than 3. 92% of the women that were interviewed are married and have children. This data made it easier for us to get the answers we wanted because most of the mothers had children within the age group of 1 to 3 years old. When we asked about their mental health while being pregnant, around 75% of them noticed their mental well-being was decreasing, while only 25% of them were not aware of it. Even if it's 25% who aren't aware of their mental well-being while being pregnant or otherwise could affect their infant. There are mothers who go to such an extent where they end up committing suicide. There are so many cases where the women do not know what they are getting themselves into and that she takes rash decisions that could put her and her infant in danger. They also mentioned that they feel their mood swings during the initial stages of when the baby is being born because it is something new to them. They have the anxiety that if they could do justice in bringing up their kid. The tension of feeding the baby on time. All this leads to having anxiety and depression for the new mothers. This is more prevalent in the immigrant mothers because they are away from home and slowly they start to realize that this is not just temporary, it's permanent. For women when they are pregnant, they would always like to stay home with their family because it's her comfort zone, and during that, with her hormones being all over the place, she would want to be somewhere where she has her mind relaxed. We have identified our target market as immigrant women who are mothers or expecting to be ones. We have identified that loneliness and alienation are causes that decrease the mental well-being of the people by conducting some desk research, surveying immigrant women, and by interviewing experts. In one of the surveys that we conducted with 105 immigrant women, we have identified that 59% of these women are between the age of 25 and 44. 92% of them are married, and 86% of them have at least one child. 94% of these women were working before they've immigrated, however only 46% of these women are still employed after the immigration process. 25% of the employed women have changed the business they were in, and 69% of them are working in a demoted position or the same position. 73% of the women have moved to Melbourne after 2010. We asked them if they feel stressed or any decrease in their mental well-being after they've immigrated, and the study showed us that 75% of the women said they felt stressed and noticed a decrease in their mental well-being. In order to have a deeper understanding of this feeling, we asked women when did they mostly struggle in this immigration and adaptation process. 31% of them said that the first few couple of days, 19% have said after 6 months, when they realised that it wasn't a holiday. 10% said after the first year they were homesick, and 1% sadly said all the time. Additionally, we wanted to serve our audience well by understanding their needs, which is why we wanted to ask them what did they miss the most. 85% of them said family in the first place, 75% said their friends and social environment, 65% said their neighbours, 25% said free childcare, and nearly 10% mentioned the ease of public transport in the cities that they used to live. We were also inspired by the studies of the non-profit organisation Are You OK Day. This organisation supports the idea of asking "Are you okay?" to random people in a meaningful way, which increases society's mental well-being because connecting regularly and meaningfully is one thing that everyone can do to make a difference to anyone who might be struggling. We were inspired with this idea and we wanted to apply this idea to our target audience. We knew we couldn't help them in anything they wanted, but we believed that they can learn whatever they need from each other. That's why we have supported the communication and socialisation of mothers, mum-to-bees, and the newborn children. Moreover, we have spoken with some native mums and their willingness to help. They've clearly identified that if they have the allocated time, they would be very happy to help. This means that their help will be mainly online, informative, and experience sharing referrals. This got us thinking what we could do to improve the mental health for those mothers and how it could be beneficial for them. So we decided to develop an app because in this modern era, most of the women have a smartphone, irrespective from where their background is from. Developing an app could make it easier for them to handle, and everything is just a click away. We wanted the users to be comfortable with using the technology that is being provided. Most women are not technologically inclined for them to use anything complex, especially when they are pregnant. Their hormones are not stable, so they might just be irritated if it's too complex to use. We also planned on using more lighter tones for the app, as it could calm the mind of the person using it, as colours play an important role in setting the mood of the person. These were some of the main focuses when we planned on designing. First, easy to use, and second, more calming colours to set the mood for the user. We also wanted a physical element apart from the app. This physical element has been discussed in further detail. When we were addressing the mental health of pregnant women, we wanted to give a solution that would make it easier on them. We were pitching various ideas amongst ourselves, some of the questions we wanted to find the answer for, and what would help a pregnant woman. How will they benefit from the app that we make? We wanted various things that could collaborate in the app, that the mothers can ask questions to doctors, and they would provide solutions that would be catered to their problem. We also had plans on having blog posts where mothers could write their stories and read stories from other mothers. That is not the only advantage it provides. It gives the opportunity to meet other mothers for various activities like yoga and cooking. It could also include group sessions where women could sit and discuss their problems to one another. This would make them feel that they are not the only ones suffering from such issues, and maybe find solutions to these problems too. We came up with a concept where women can distract themselves and forget what they are going through, even if it is just for a while, which is why we are creating an app that would help the mothers to connect with one another. The app comes along with a button. The concept of button was introduced because not everyone, especially mothers who would have to take care of multiple tasks at home, will have the thought of going through their phone to tap on the app. If it is there as an object that is physically present, it is easy for them to tap it while they are in the midst of their chores. The mothers get more inclined to use it often as it is physically present in front of them. The button also can be tapped multiple times in a day. The number of times it is tapped will give the reading of your mental health by asking a few questions, so this will help you keep track of your mental health. We began the prototyping phase by conducting a workshop in designing some different models for the button that the mothers could tap when they are feeling stressed or anxious. This button is the only physical representation of the service, and it was important that it resonates with our users so that they are happy to keep it in their home and more likely to tap it when they feel the need. A design was settled upon that would be easy and cheap to manufacture. We took a less is more minimalistic approach to the design so that it can fit well into any home setting. The finished prototype mirrored the design that we decided. It is activated by the user when they simply press down on the white surface. Where in the house the button is kept is up to personal preference, and it can be easily moved when needed. This mother can clearly be seen in a very stressed and anxious state trying to understand this form. Obstacles like this are faced every day by immigrant mothers. It finally reaches tipping point and she reaches for the device and presses down on it. She now knows that she can utilise the services on the app paired to her device and get in touch with someone that might be able to help her headspace or help her current predicament with the phone. She hits the button and will now be able to connect with someone using the app.